I'd take a certain defensiveness here, each in your own sort of way in terms of the institutions that you are part of. And people here, there are a number of people here who are also members of various institutions and or are artists. And sort of following up on the comment made back here from the person from Holland who has that maybe a bit different perspective, and the comment of the fellow in the back in terms of putting the onus on patrons. I'm wondering if there was, like for you personally, from institutions, or maybe more broadly put, if there's something that you could do to more proactively engage with artists and to make your institutions accessible. So for example, I would love to go to the National Art Gallery and take part in some of those talks. I just don't know them. And to say, for example, that the comm shop doesn't work, I mean, most of us artists here, we communicate through art images or a Kimbo or whatever in terms of getting things out. Just as an example, I don't want to react right now, but in terms of, and I think we could, each case we could sort of maybe do something, maybe to be a bit more proactive, to engage a little more proactively with each other and the various realities in our community, whatever those might be, rather than comparing ourselves to some other place, Montreal or Toronto or New York or some other place. And I'm wondering, in a sense, sort of what you could do in terms of the institutions that you represent that could work to more proactively engage, also in the group here too, those of us who are part of institutions or who are artists, what we could do more proactively to improve things rather than sort of being defensive about it. And I thought there was a couple of comments that were very constructive in terms of what we could do.
Just to respond to that, there's a group out of Toronto called Business for the Arts. They've tended for many, many years to be very Toronto-centric. And they are now reaching out a little bit more to Ottawa. So what they're doing right now is a program with young professionals, trying to connect young professionals to the arts community, whether that be through volunteerism, getting to know the community, I think educating in terms of what's available. And I think we have an event coming up in November where we're going to meet them and start to sort of open up some doors with them. And I think that's an extraordinary opportunity if they can get organized with 10 or 15 or 20 of this young professional group who do have good money, who are making a decent wage in this city, who are looking at purchasing work that is meaningful. If we can start to connect them, then that's great. And I give a lot of kudos to Business for the Arts for starting this program. And I think that they are much more aware, and I think, again, it's the size of this city. I'm not negative about this city. I think this city is reaching that point that we are on the political map. And so when you see other sort of what were considered to be national organizations in Toronto, but they really are Toronto. It's the same as service organizations. They pretend they're provincial service organizations, but they're not. They're serving Toronto. But when you actually see someone coming in and doing active work in Ottawa and starting to engage their members and their young people and say, get involved, I think there are some positive signs. So I think those are some of the potential patrons that we can open up the doors and start saying, have you visited? Would you like to visit? If you'd like to go to EBA for an evening, if 20 of you want to tour some studios, I'll make the arrangement. I'm more than happy to do that. But I think it's to try to make some of those new connections. Because I think we're constantly dipping into the same pool. And I think it's to broaden the pool that is important.
That's a great note to end on.